Well, hello everybody. We're out here at Sisters Creek on the just outskirts of Boat Harbour. This river is the river that flows through, comes out of the township of Wynyard, the lifeblood of our rural area. And I have with me the project officer in charge of the rehabilitation of the river from the 2016 floods. Barbara, I'd like to introduce you to our video. Barbara Alsop from you're the project officer for the council.
That's right.
Yeah. Welcome on board, Barbara.
Thank you.
You've done a mighty lot of work here to bring material in to reclaim the banks and excavator work, and then the planting of the natives, and now we'll need to be fencing, won't we?
That's right, absolutely.
To protect it, to get it established.
That's right.
Yeah. So how many thousand tonnes of rock bluestone material you bring in?
For the whole Flowerdale and English catchments,
Yeah.
it's just over 7,000 tonnes.
Really?
Yeah.
Gee.
This site alone had about 420 tonnes.
Did it?
Yeah, because this one had to be armoured 2/3 of the bank because of the speed of the river and the height of the river during flood time.
Yep.
So we didn't want it washing away again. So
No, that's right. I can imagine this flat in the 2016 flood and the debris that's around. As Wally Elphinson mentioned to me, he said she was 3 metres underwater, Robbie.
that's right. Well, we'd be drowning now.
Yeah, we'd be underwater.
That's right.
It was enormous, that flood, and it's taken a while, but like with the assistance of a grant from the state government, was it?
That's right. Yeah, the ALRS, Agricultural Landscape Rehabilitation Scheme.
Yep. And all the farmers affected down through this water catchment area have agreed to have all this rehabilitation take
That's
place.
right, 14 landholders,
14.
yep, all cooperating, because it's always awkward when you have boundaries, but
Yep.
they've all been brilliant in cooperating with each other, and you know, getting access sometimes has been difficult, but
Yep.
we've all worked together and it's come on great.
We can imagine if this sort of rehabilitation work wasn't done, what long-term effect it'd have.
Well, the river would have just cut straight through there,
Yep.
right through to that meander there,
Yep.
and that would leave like a lagoon here, this piece of land cut off.
Yeah.
But more than that, what it does is it increases the speed of the river then.
Does it?
And that's bad because that means downstream you get more erosion occurring, and
Yep.
it's just really bad. These rivers are meant to meander, and they've sort of
Slow them
always
down a
changed
bit.
in the past,
Yep.
but the meanders do slow the flow.
Yes. Yeah, the reduces the velocity or whatever
Yeah,
you call
that's
it.
right, absolutely.
Yeah. So the effect that it's had has put a lot of really good soil out in Bass Strait, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And down through the river, our English river through the town, and the sediment in the mouth and things like that, that's had all effect on that. And in future floods, you know, this needed doing before the flood, really, I think.
Yeah, it's
But
been a
that's
long-term thing.
A long-term thing
Absolutely.
over the years.
Yeah,
But the flood brought it on. 2016, I can remember, it was about June.
that's
A
it.
huge downpour and isolation of cattle and things marooned everywhere, animals. So, but hopefully this will stop the erosion. And
Well, that's right. Once the vegetation establishes,
Yep.
because the rock work normally has a shelf life of about 10 years before it can start to break down a little bit. So
Oh, yeah.
we get the vegetation established, and then as they get bigger, the roots get deeper,
Yep.
and it holds the banks together. So as the rock slowly, you know, some of them will start to tumble down or
Yep.
erode away. The vegetation will take the
taken
place
place.
of it, and
got
it'll all
established.
be in place then.
Yep. And the correct terminology, geology-wise, of this rock wall, what's the rock?
It's a high basalt content rock.
Yeah.
Because it's got a very low erodibility,
Mm.
so it's particularly good for armouring.
Yeah, and Barbara, you've engaged various people to various sections of this, parts of this project. You had local contractors bringing the material. You had local machinery operators putting in place.
Yep.
And now you've got the NRM team. You've engaged them.
This is Conservation Volunteers Tasmania at the
Oh, is it?
moment,
Is
but
it?
we've also had some members of Wynyard Landcare.
Oh.
Brenton and Megan came out and helped us plant
Yep.
before Christmas, before it got too hot and too dry.
Yep.
But Grant and his team, they came out last week. They planted 650 plants in
Oh,
2
really?
sites in one day, which was just absolutely amazing. And as you can see, they're just amazing. They climb down the banks and they're planting them in the banks so that we
Yep.
get that soil nice and consolidated. And
Yep.
yeah, it's
They're doing a
great.
great job. I know I'm amazed at how they're going, because I had a fair old bit of my career was involved in planting trees and natural vegetation around riparian reserves and things like that. I really see what they're doing, so valuable. Now Barbara, after these plantings, we'll need some protection to keep the stock away. I guess you've got a crew coming in to do the fencing?
We're working out the best way to do the fencing, the most efficient way. You have to be careful how you fence floodplains, because the really rigid fencing in a flood, it not only collects all the organic matter and blocks trees, but it gets ripped out, and when it gets ripped out, the banks get ripped out. So most of them are cattle owners around here. That's better because you can just use electric fencing, which can be easily pulled up when a flood comes.
And will you be getting contractors in to do that work, or will you allocate the landowners of the properties here to do that themselves?
We're just trying to work that out. It's stretching the funding at the moment.
Is it?
So we'll see how the funding goes and what level of assistance we can give at that point.
Okay. Yeah, well Barbara, look, you're doing a mighty job here. I'm sure the landowners and the around here appreciate the contribution you've made. Thank you very much for the effort you're putting in.
No, thank you.
Thank you.